during the boom. Everything was done up quick, no insulation, single glazed windows, water leaks, mold.
You know, a couple sleepless nights, a lot of tears. We all have those days, but you have to be willing to figure out how things are done here. You know, one of our things was we really want to make a place where everyone feels welcome.
We could have gone back to the US. We just didn't see those same opportunities there that we could create for ourselves here. So we did our research and we built a renovated lodge ready to open up for our first season. Over here we have our lounge area. We can start the day with coffee or end the day with cocktails here.
And welcome to the main floor of our lodge where our guests stay. Let's take a look.
Have you ever wondered what it takes to turn a neglected ski lodge into a winter tourist destination? Join me as I dive into this incredible journey of Kate and Adam, who transformed a hidden gem in Japan. So in this video, we'll show you the real life steps and problems they face and how they're getting ready for their first full season of their business. From conceptualization to the stunning final result, this is more than just a makeover. It's a blueprint for anyone seeking inspiration in the realm of real estate and adventure in Japan. So discover the raw, unfiltered process of turning dreams into reality in the heart of Japan's snowy landscapes. Before we begin, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and download my free guide, How to Buy an Akiya in Japan as a Foreigner. The link is in the description. Now enjoy my interview with Kate and Adam of the breweries. All right, so today I'm in this town called Furumi in Nagano Prefecture. It's close to Iyama and Miyako that you might be familiar with. So I'm meeting up with the owners of this ski lodge. It's called the Brewery. They bought this ski lodge last year and they've been renovating this place to make it ready for their business. And they're just opening. They're having their opening just this week for the season. So let's go meet them and check out this place.
Welcome to the breweries. We're the breweries.
First of all, we've got our amazing little vintage record player with all of our vintage vinyl, some from my grandma, some from friends, some brewery was able to find. So we love to be pumping the tunes all day long, starting in the morning. And our amazing select shop is right next door. We have curated some handmade items as well as some things that are specific to the breweries. Brewery Vuitton. Our logo on sweatshirts. We have vintage kimonos, which we were able to find. Handmade woven slippers made from vintage yukatas. Our beautiful little keychains and hand woven bags. And some of our favorite pieces, our Dharma coffee mug, coffee and tea. Comes in 3 colors. And we even have little vintage sake cups and sake sets. And our friend who makes handmade cola, you can find her beautiful products in our store too. Hare Cola.
Over here we have our lounge area. We can start the day with coffee or end the day with cocktails here. Great space to chill out in, especially after a hard day on the mountain. The gas fireplace will be running. It's nice and warm, cozy. Beautiful LED sign. That couch is so comfortable, you just sink into it. Okay, so as you probably noticed, this whole place has been renovated. I've done most of the work myself, probably a good 95% of it. Everything's been done in a practical way, very useful, using materials that are already here. Like the ceiling and a lot of the walls, we've just painted over the old wallpaper. Just straight on top with a sealer, then coats of paint. The brick facade behind the bar, that's just been painted over as well, just to brighten it up. It was really dull before. And then all this vertically striped paneling that you see everywhere is actually, it's acoustic panel. So last year when we had this place open for friends and family, we had about 25 people here and the acoustics was really bad, just noise bouncing back and forth. Obviously that brick facade helps and all the windows everywhere to help create that noise. So this paneling actually absorbs the noise and makes it a lot more pleasant environment to be in, especially for those with hard of hearing. When it gets too loud, it just gets too loud. So it's a really great space now. And
we love to listen to music. We have some really good speaker systems in here too, so it helps to dull the music so people can sleep upstairs if anybody wants to have a little bit of a later later night, cheeky night. Yeah, we can listen to music down here and not have to worry about it. So when our guests wake up in the morning, we're gonna have a complimentary breakfast laid out with complimentary coffee, and anybody can find their own seat, enjoy the view out the window. Really cozy vibe so everybody can get stoked about the day ahead. In addition, we're gonna have a couple of menu items, so French toast and probably a brekkie sandwich. So if you want to add to your meal, you can, and it's just a nice little touch to make sure that you have what you need to get out there for the day. And as you go up the stairway here, we actually repurposed these beautiful handmade wooden screens from one of the retail stores that I used to manage and ship them up here, and Bree was able to hang them in a really beautiful way to just make the hallway and the staircase a little bit more inviting. And welcome to the main floor of our lodge where our guests stay. The first room we want to show you.
So just to give a background, we have 11 guest rooms. 8 of them can sleep up to 3 people. One's dedicated to 2 people, one for 4 people, and a 2-bedroom that can sleep up to 6. So plenty of guests, 37 in total we can accommodate here.
Let's take a look. This is the Bauhaus room.
How did you come up with the names?
So this specific one, I studied art history in college, and the Bauhaus era in the art movement was one of my favorites. I fell in love with this wallpaper, and we were able to bring it in from Germany. And when I saw it, I immediately knew I really needed a green carpet to go with it. So hence the green carpet was born, and our rooms are just fabulous. Bree was able to create bespoke interiors, so he built all of the headboards by hand and did all of the molding around all the windows and the tops of the rooms. He built these beautiful little tables and all of the molding at the bottom near the carpet as well. And we were able to procure some really beautiful luxury linen. So our beds are super comfy with very specific fill in the pillows and in the duvet covers and the duvets. And we were able to do some branding on our towels, and our towels are absolutely to die for.
So we've tried to think of every little detail to make your stay more convenient, easy, like after a long day on the, riding the hill, like you might be sore and tired. So all the bed heads actually have all your light switches for in the room, which includes like your main lights and an LED strip at the back of the bed head. Then all of our outlets actually have Type-C USB chargers as well as allowing all international plugs to be plugged in. Make it really easy, no trailing with converters or anything like that.
So the inspiration for this room was a shibori wallpaper that we found, and shibori is a Japanese dyeing technique that's used with indigo dye, and when we found this, we knew that it was going to be perfect for one of our feature walls. So yeah, this room is really nice, light, airy. It feels soft but cozy at the same time. And all the features are the same as in all of our other rooms. So you have your Type-C, USB, and international charging ports, your LED nightlight, and then all the luxury linens and bespoke interiors that Bree was able to make himself. Additionally, we have some of these hooks that we put in for just faster drying with towels, things like that, because we do have in-floor heating, which is a really nice touch. And so you can stay warm whether you're just in socks, bare feet, or in our Bree slippers. It's just cozy all your stay. So it has a beautiful view out to our trees and our neighborhood.
Okay, so this is the kintsugi room. This is actually the first room we did because we kind of needed a concept of how we're going to do everything. And Kate actually let me choose the carpet and wallpaper in this room. She was a bit doubtful at first, but it turned out great. Now the name kintsugi comes from, the name of this carpet, which actually the designer of this carpet got it from the Japanese craft of repairing ceramics with gold. And actually after you break the ceramic bowl or whatever, you repair it with gold. Actually they say you make it better by repairing with the gold and actually give it more character. I went with a pretty intense wallpaper to go with. Obviously a lot of Japanese styling in this room, but we just love how it turned out. Even some of our neighbours were a bit doubtful of it, but it's actually turning out to be one of our more popular rooms with all the bookings, especially being this kind of style. We're on the back side of the building now, so your views are just absolutely epic. Once that snow starts to fall, all those trees catch all that snow, and it's an amazing view, and it's so good to wake up to. Okay, so you just saw the name of the room, that 70s room. We love this wallpaper. This is one of the ones that we bought from Europe, although we did get a lot of Japanese wallpaper. It's just, we definitely couldn't find anything in this kind of style because originally we wanted to purchase 70s wallpaper actually manufactured in the 70s, but we couldn't do that because we have a strict fire code to meet. So this is actually a new wallpaper, meets the fire code, but definitely done in that 70s style, which we just absolutely love this room. When the sun's setting over Miyoko, the amount of orange in this room is great as well. It's a great color. Okay, welcome to Golden Hour Room. This is another European wallpaper. Its name said Japanese garden. It's definitely got more of, I guess, a Japanese, maybe more Chinese feel to it. The color, the deep blue mixed with the gold is just amazing. Especially I managed to get some darker timber to go with it in this room. Kind of pick these pieces out to go with this wallpaper. And I'll just touch on the reasoning why the bed heads. Because our rooms can be set up for 2 people, 3 people, a king and a single, 3 singles, however it wants to be set up, would be constantly be moving beds. So we didn't want to have bedside tables. And this way too, we can have the outlets and the light switches just above your head.
Right, so this is the sake suite.
This is sake suite. So this was our second property, but the first one I've ever tried to renovate. So come in and check it out.
Wow, look at this. Very chic. Nice.
Yeah, so this property took me nearly as long to renovate as the whole lodge did because it was my first go. Didn't really know what I was doing, what I was up against, where I was going to get materials or anything like that. It was a long, hard slog, but it turned out great. The amount of sugi that's in this place, the kitchen, the island bench, the furniture, it just all came together, and we're super proud of it. This place is available for short-term rental. And it's a 10-minute drive from the lodge, actually, from the breweries. Short drive, or you can actually ski between the 2 resorts that Sake Suite and the breweries is at. So definitely during the season, during the winter, we'll snowboard across and then clean this after guests have been, and then jump back on our boards and continue the day snowboarding.
And it's only a 4-minute walk to the lift.
Very close to the
Which
lift.
is super, super close.
4-minute walk to all the restaurants and bars.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've also got a full kitchen, and then in the full kitchen there's also large size refrigerator with a separate freezer. So if you do a decent shop, you can just load up, and you can, even if you stayed here long term, you've got plenty of places to put your supplies.
And we also have coffee, so in the morning you can feel free to make yourself a cup, and we leave that as a complimentary service.
Then we decided to name it Sake Suite, and we just sell a few local sakes for sale inside the place. So welcome to crack one of them open and buy the bottle and crack it open and try the local sakes, all within 30 to 40 minutes drive of this apartment.
What's out there?
So we're looking across, down to Iyama, then the mountains across. In the very distance you can see Nozawa to the left of the screen, and then if you went out further to the right you can actually see across to Shiga Kogen, right out that way. All right, so where we're standing now, we're looking at the main resort of Tangrum Ski Circus, which is the main hotel. Where we're situated is just kind of over that little ridge there that's to the right of us, down off a lift called Lift 6. This is the Tangrum Ski Circus mountain. It's not huge, but it also links up with Matarao. So you end up with like 2 ski areas about this big, maybe Matarao's a bit bigger. So together there's actually some great skiable terrain. The off-piste here on this mountain is amazing, and they actually encourage off-piste skiing, and there's good tree runs. And then just down here you can see we've got the golf course. That's the front 9. The back 9 is actually up in the mountain behind us and has amazing views of Miyoko and Kurohime. This is it, and as I said, to get to this main part of the hotel, the resort from our lodge, you can just catch one lift up and then just ski down to it. And then you've got all the other lifts going from there, and then you can just go up one of the lifts and then ski down to our lodge.
All right, well, thank you for having me today.
So nice to see you again. I feel like it's been forever.
I know. full disclosure, Kate and I used to work together for the same company, but we haven't seen each other for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
And you moved on, you started this business with your partner. And yeah, I've seen your journey for the past couple of years, and it's just so exciting to see. And just seeing it today, you gave me a walkthrough, beautiful facility, and super excited for your opening this week. I have so many questions, so I'm just gonna fire at them.
Dive right in.
Yeah. So for the viewers who might not know your story, can you share a little bit about your journey to Japan, your journey to owning this ski lodge?
So I'm originally from California, near Yosemite National Park. Adam's originally from outside of Sydney. We met in New York City, and he was visiting his sister on his way to do seasons in Whistler. And not really on his way, because it's not on the way, but he would stop in New York frequently. He's a huge snowboarder. He's traveled all around the world snowboarding. That's where we met, and fast forward, we moved to Sydney with the company I was working for. And he still, managed to make his way to snowboard heaps. Eventually came to Japan on a snowboarding trip and fell in love with it, and went back for another trip. And then an opportunity with the company I worked for also opened up in Japan, and I had never been to Japan, but he's like, I swear you're gonna love it. Like, just trust me, let's go. So we actually moved here without me ever having visited Japan.
Wow. And that was how many years ago was that? Like
4.5.
4.5, okay.
Yeah, started working in Tokyo, and yeah, maybe you talk about your first season up
Yeah,
here.
so we came here, it was like July and August of 2019, so pre-COVID. The first winter that came up, it was like, umming and ahhing, where am I going to spend the winter? Like, I knew I wanted to spend the whole winter up in the mountains. I just worked an intense amount in Australia, so I was always going to take that time off to do the winter and then look for work afterwards. So I ended up choosing a place not too far from here for the winter, but then frequently came across to this mountain to snowboard and definitely fell in love with it. And then, COVID hit. So, when we moved to Japan, I knew I wanted to open our own business, but I didn't know in what capacity that was going to look like. And COVID gave us the time to really rethink things, maybe choose a direction to go in. And then the next winter, we actually spent in this neighborhood on this same street at our friend's place, and that definitely cemented it. That's at the end of that season, that's when we bought our first apartment, and then subsequently other ones, and then finally finding this lodge and buying it. And in that time, until we bought this lodge a year ago, obviously we've spoken to a lot of the locals about what they do here, how they survive, how they got here. Some have been here for many years, 30, 40 years, others are fresh like us. And just speaking to everyone about their businesses, and everyone just seemed to like it and give us like the thumbs up and say, this is definitely something you should explore. So we did our research, and now we're here. Now we're here with a renovated lodge ready to open up for our first season.
And this is like a tradition. It's a more traditional Japanese pension town. It's very small. It's one street. And like Adam said, a lot of the original owners are here. And we're maybe one of two businesses that are not fully Japanese owned and run. So it actually took a bit to really immerse ourselves in the community, in terms of like, we made friends with people on the street easily, but they really needed to see that we were here and in it for the long haul. 365 days a year we were going to be living in Japan before they were like, I see you. Okay, come on into the neighborhood and into the community. And now we're really a big part of the community on this block. Like, they were here for our soft opening night. They were the last ones here. Like, we're really deeply rooted in, our Japanese community here, which is important to us.
We have a lot of barbecues with them throughout the summer, a lot of language exchange as well, and they drop us down vegetables, and we try to pay them back in other ways, because we don't have a little farm like a lot of the locals here, a little plot of land. So yeah, it's been great, and that's how we came into this community.
Yeah, awesome. I wanted to ask you a follow-up question on why you chose Japan. You've lived in some of the biggest, busiest cities in the world, New York, Sydney, and I'm sure you've been to other places. But why, what made you want to kind of, do your business and have your base in Japan?
I'd love for you to chime in, but there's so much opportunity here. I think that since the recession, in the early 90s, a lot of businesses have just kind of halted where they were at that time. And you know, there's some people that are moving forward, but it's really left a lot of open opportunity for people to build businesses based on different things all around the country, not just in the big cities. And you know, one of our things was we really want to make a place where everyone feels welcome and feels like they can, you know, experience Japan in a super comfortable and almost familiar way. So while we do have a lot of like the comforts of Japanese tradition in our lodge, it is also a place where people that are coming from a more Western place can find like a lot of like creatures, you know, of comfort in our lodge.
And we just felt maybe we could have gone back to Australia, we could have gone back to the US. We just didn't see those same opportunities there that we could create for ourselves here. And we weren't ready to go back to those countries yet, and I don't know how we would have made the decision onto which one. In the end, it might have been a totally different country, but yeah, we chose to stay, and then we, you know, Kate applied and got permanent residency just to make sure, you know, we're doing it properly and we are here to stay instead of going the route of the business management visa. So we've got that now, and it just cemented the stay.
And opening a business, like let's say in the States or Australia, it would have been a totally different financial obligation. Whereas here, like, we could actually open this business and make it happen with what we had saved and what we had done. And I think that's really important. Yeah, the opportunity is endless here if you find the right ways to seek it out and do it properly.
Why did you choose Nagano or this area? There are, you know, a lot of ski resorts, popular destinations, right? From Hokkaido, Niseko to Niigata. What brought you to here?
So this area of Nagano is quite convenient to get to from Tokyo. That's a major thing. So when I was starting to spend more time up here and Kate was still working in Tokyo, that 2 hours kind of door to door from Tokyo to our lodge was very important. Niseko is quite hard to get to. It's a flight, and then it's a long bus or a long expensive rental car. Other areas are just starting to get a bit too busy for what we want at the moment, for what we'd like. We'd like to be in a neighbourhood that's being revived and growing, not just stepping into one that's already been developed and it didn't really have the vibe that we wanted. So hopefully here we can help build what we want. This particular neighbourhood and this particular mountain is because this was built in the 90s, so kind of like as the boom was dying off, this building's built a lot better than anything built in the 80s, which was like all kind of like during the boom. Everything just went up quick, no insulation, single glazed windows, you know, water leaks, mold. We didn't want that. We wanted a very good bones to start with, an amazing structure that we wouldn't have to rip everything apart. We could just refurb, like improve on. And then the mountain here, I just love you know, it's a small mountain, but when you team Tangram up with Matarao on the same pass, it does give quite a big skiable area for Japan. And it's just, they encourage off-piste skiing. They've got some great tree runs, from like cruisy gladed ones for big, you know, people learning how to do tree runs, to nice steep, tight trees. An amazing little back bowl if you have your avalanche gear and training to access. And it's just got something for everyone. They've got some good off-mountain activities as well at the base of the mountain. And it's really convenient, 4-minute walk to the chairlift from our lodge.
Yeah, that's a big one. Like, we really wanted our guests to be able to access the chairlift, like, just by walking down the street and having that, like, morning, like, I'm on my way, versus, like, let's all pile in the car and, like, drive for 15 minutes. So we were willing to wait to find the right property to be able to have that. That was really important to us.
Yeah, the waiting game was a big one.
Can you walk me through the process of finding, you know, this particular property? How did you get this deal?
Took me knocking on the door quite a few times. Quite a few times the old owner wouldn't answer, and we knew she was home. My Japanese is still very basic, but I'm learning, I'm getting there, but I did make sure every time I knocked on the door I had someone with me that could translate. But, you know, finally she let me in one time and we had a bit of a talk, and I think she just more was looking for company for 2 hours, you know, and we kind of talked about if she would sell and all the rest of it, and kind of what price I would kind of offer, but she just kind of said no, she wasn't ready. She loves this place, loves the area too much. At the same time, we were looking at other places and kind of talking with them. But then later that year, she actually, you know, her health had declined quite a bit. And so she reached out to the real estate agent. Real estate agent got in contact with me, and then the process started. she had been in contact with some of the other neighbours as well, and had learnt more about us and what we want to do and what we see for this area. So she was quite confident that she was selling to someone she liked and wanted to sell to, which is very important for a lot of the Japanese culture.
It's like
who
all
they
about
allow
legacy.
into the community, right?
Yeah, so her legacy is like, I need to leave this with good people, because I'm like, basically my neighbors trust me that I'm gonna put this in the hands of people who care. So they do, like, when people sell in these communities, like, they do their due diligence and make sure, like, I know these people, I trust these people, these are people I'd be happy to leave with my neighbors, so my neighbors think kindly of me. It's like a big thing.
Yeah, so that's kind of the timeline of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were definitely looking at other places on the block, and put in multiple offers. And I mean, at the beginning, Adam said, like, this one is the best one in terms of structure and layout and all these things. And at the time, I was like, I don't really see it, but okay. And yeah, it just so happened, like, it really is. If we look at exactly what we were looking for, this has all the, like, components that we really wanted.
Yeah, like this lounge area being separate to the restaurant bar, and then the fact that Kate can set up a shop in there, and all of those things are very important. Like, you know, a lot of the places, the sit down area in the restaurant bar is almost the same area. So if that's getting rowdy in there, like, where do you go? Do you go sit in your room, kind of thing? When I saw that this was completely separated, I was like, oh yeah, this is good.
Also, private en-suites, like, I totally understand shared bathrooms in some ryokans and hotels, and I get it, but a lot of our guests that we're attracting really want their private ensuite, so we really wanted to find a place where each room had that. Yeah. And we were also looking for something with at least 10 rooms or more, because when you look at the financials of it, that's, you know, how we were going to make the goals that we set for ourselves. So I think that's really important. And we have 11, so and with a couple different makeups, like, they're not all standard. Like Adam said earlier, it's like we have the 2-bedroom and we have you know, a family room. So I think, yeah, that was important for the business aspect of it.
So walk me through the timeline of when you decided that you wanted to buy something like this, and then how long it took you to actually find it, make an offer, get your offer accepted, and then since then, like, renovation and get this ready for business.
So I think we kind of softly spoke about, all right, let's just explore this opportunity probably 2.5 years ago. Okay. I guess, maybe more now.
3.
We're in December. 3 years ago, probably.
So 2020. So during COVID.
Yeah, during COVID. Probably, yeah, definitely during COVID. We're looking for a while. We're looking at different neighbourhoods, different communities, all of that kind of stuff. But coming to this one, you know, we knew we wanted to be in this area. So, as we said, we offered first time we viewed this place in March. Offer got accepted, and we kind of went through late November, early December. Then we had to house the old family for 2 months, you know, and then while they had to sort out their stuff and work out their move back to Kobe. And then from February, we had a lot of friends and family come, and we just had like this kind of like soft opening where the place was just as is. Everyone come in, let's see what works, what doesn't.
That was super helpful too, because we could see how people navigated the space, where they wanted to spend time, checked out, like, you know, the boiler, how the in-floor heating works. Like, we could really see things in action versus buy it and then figure it out. So I think that was your idea, and that was brilliant, to be able to do that. And then people got, like, sick powder days, so they were just like, I gotta go back. And all the people that came for that are now fully booked for this season, which I think, yeah, speaks volumes to the area and, like, how amazing the snow is. And also, like, we create good vibes, so I think, like, people want to come back and see us, and I know people want to come back and see us, so that's a good part of it. So all up, it would have been from buying it, we bought it December 9th last year, and we're opening December 16th technically this year, so it's just over a year. And you didn't start the renovation.
The renovation side of it, really. There's bits and pieces I did in March and April. That was just really ripping a bit of wallpaper off the walls here and there. It wasn't anything major. It was just get started, right? But really May, I got stuck into it. I stuck into it like a lot, working every day, big hours. And it really only just finished in the last week. There's even still little things to go. I still need to set up the dry room a bit better so it's more practical. Still a couple little things left to do in the staff area because that's fully renovated as well. But yeah, it's been a whole year all in.
Every day.
All in job. Yeah.
Sun up, sun down. But I think the thing is we're tired, but we're really happy. Like I was saying to a friend the other day, I had a dream, like a vision, like whenever I would open stores for the other company I worked for, I always would imagine what it would look like and feel like in my mind. And I did the same with this place, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it turned out like probably 20% better than I ever thought it could.
Wow.
Like I never thought that we could make something look so amazing. I think I learned a lot about his skills and how talented he is with like creating amazing spaces. And then I don't think I realized how my brand building skills were like actually really dialed. So we've built a brand that makes sense from the time that you drive up through the time that you check out. Like everything feels synced and consistent. And that's really important to us. And from, the way the towels look and feel to the way that, you're able to like buy a drink at the bar. So those things I think really surprised me, like the way that we were able to put that all together.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you about renovation. So you said you started renovating like this May, June, so like 7 months ago.
Yeah.
What was that process like? And did you who did the renovation?
Okay, so the whole process was pretty hard. I have a bit of a construction background, but it's not this kind of construction. A lot of it's big machinery work and stuff like that. So last year I actually renovated one of our other places, a little apartment that we call Sake Suite that's in the next little town. We managed to pick that up pretty cheap, and I actually didn't want to buy it because I didn't want a project at the time, but Kate called me a tight, another word, and so we bought it, and then I had to renovate it.
Don't be tight.
It wasn't in the condition we wanted it in. So last year doing that was pretty stressful and full on, even though it was such a small space. Just learning what's available in Japan, where I get stuff, everything like that, sourcing materials, sourcing even light fittings, trying to get some decent light fittings that look nice and are practical and all the whole thing was a huge learning experience. So coming into the lodge this year with that background, was a huge help. Starting small was amazing, did amazing stuff for us. Now, I'm not stressed out about finding anything. I can find anything through multiple websites. I've got a timber supply guy that I use. I know how to dispose of all the big materials now and where to go for that and the costs involved with that. So this year was actually a lot more smoother than what it could have been. Sometimes it still takes a while to find the perfect thing, but at least I know the avenues to go through to find it.
And I think one thing too to mention is he really takes his time to find the right thing. So there were very few moments where we ordered something and it went to waste. Everything was used. And I think that's a hard thing to do when you're doing something like this for the first time, but he's really able to figure out how can I repurpose something? How can I give it to somebody else to use for free? Or we were really good about just not letting anything go to waste.
And although we're buying a lot of stuff online, there's a lot of sites over here that they might put up one photo of an item and a very short description that doesn't tell you a lot about it. So you do and ah about it for a little bit. Sometimes you do bite the bullet and just order a sample one to see how it's going to be, because it's just very short on descriptions, which is a little frustrating. But a lot of websites are getting better.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how they are.
I'm just so impressed by the quality of the work that you've done. How did you know what to do with renovation?
Ask myself that all the time.
YouTube's good. YouTube's great. Also, I've been around construction sites for a while now, watching people do things, how they do it. I saw someone once do something this way and then kind of copying it, double checking with YouTube. When my dad was still alive, I could call him, runs stuff past him and how to do it, or
really
materials,
helpful.
and he could explain a lot of stuff to me. Mates as well. I've got a lot of mates that are in the industry, like from carpenters to plumbers, electricians. A few calls to them, and run a few ideas past them. But then you come down to it, is just say when we're talking about paint or whatever, but is that paint available in Japan? Generally, what's available in Australia or the US isn't available here. Asking a lot of the locals, we got some great people in the community that have done work on their places as well, and everyone's willing to give up, where they found something, where they saw something. Oh, I saw that the other day at this place, so
I'll pick you up one.
Yeah, community is a great thing.
Yeah.
We've got some great people here.
Let's talk about financing. How did you finance this place?
Through our bank accounts.
Yeah, I mean, when living in New York, I honestly was just living paycheck to paycheck, and I just didn't really know how to save. I was just like, well, I'm making an okay amount at some point, so I was just spending what I had. Then when I made more, I was spending more. And when I made...
easy to do in New York.
Very easy to do in New York. And when I met Brewy, he really taught me a lot around how to save and still have what you need. And so now that we've been together for 10 years, we've done a good job of making sure that we have different accounts for different things. And we started aggressively saving when we came up with this goal. We knew that we wanted it to only be our project, so no external investors. Yeah, it was just about diligence and communication and making sure that we were really following. I don't even want to say a strict plan, because I think that can be
It was pretty loose.
tricky thing, but a loose but strict plan. We had a goal, we knew we were both working towards it, so we weren't doing anything crazy with our money to get off track, but we also weren't, not going on a trip or not going to, a normal dinner with friends.
We were living in Tokyo. We were out to dinner.
Yeah, but
6 nights of the week.
But we made sure, when I got a bonus, it went in the bank.
Yeah.
Or when, he was doing, some work from home, that all went in the bank. So we were able to save over time and really make sure that we had enough over these 10 years. I think not owing anyone anything and having this be outright ours is really important to us.
Yeah.
And something that we're really proud of, because we worked really hard for it. Nobody handed it to us.
That's awesome. It's a cash purchase. No loans, no mortgages.
No mortgage.
That's awesome.
Cash.
Renovation's all cash.
Wow. I mean, Japan is known for super low interest rate loans, and you get tempted to try to get that, right? But you had the discipline to save and then finance yourselves. That's an amazing discipline and quality that you both have. Yeah.
And we know that not everybody can do that, and
Yeah.
we also, looked into loans, and loans are a great option because the interest rates are so low. You just have to be really focused on meeting every requirement they want and really researching what they're looking for. When you go into that bank appointment, you have to have everything that they're looking for in the format they want. It's not about your format. So I would say that's my one piece of advice is, if you are seeking external help with a loan, it's great. And have all your ducks in a row, ask a lot of questions about what they're looking for, or else you're going to be going back and forth 20 times.
One word that's coming up to me is resourcefulness. You two are extremely resourceful. You're figuring things out and you're getting stuff done. And you had a big vision to make this come true, and which you did. And it's beautiful, the walkthrough and just, talking to you, listening to your stories, and it's an incredible story. What would you say to those who want to do something like you're doing, or maybe at a smaller scale, want to buy something in Japan and start a business, maybe a rental business, but navigating through the culture, the nuances, and the language, it's pretty tricky.
It is.
Yeah. What advice do you have for them?
I would say if they're coming from internationally, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Try and spend as much time as you can before just biting the bullet and jumping in the deep end. We know a lot of people that are doing that really haven't spent much time here and are just finding it really, really hard. If you can, have a good community around you. It may not be someone locally in your community, but people that you can find out that are doing a similar thing, and they can at least give you advice. Find a really good translator, someone to help you out with those documents, all the paperwork. Speak to people for you. Create and someone that is also quite personable, that can like create relationships with people you have to deal with. Because when you do open a business like this, you've got you got the fire station to deal with, you've got the health department to deal with, and everything like that. And
you've got your meat purveyor, you've got your sake purveyor, your beer person. Like, you've got so many people that are in your orbit that you need to be in relationship with, that you've got to work out how that's going to work. I would also say, like, it's not something that you can come and just throw money at. Like, you really need to be in it, like 100% in it. Like, I hope we haven't made it sound like it's too easy. It has not been easy. It's been, a couple sleepless nights, a lot of tears. There's been, disagreements for sure. Like, we're partners working together, and you just have to be really loving and kind and patient with your outside partners, like the people that you work with, and you also have to be kind and patient with your inside partner. I'd say, like, another thing is, it's really easy to come to Japan and make the way that businesses are run wrong. It's not wrong. It's a different way of looking at it and a different way of navigating it, and you need to be patient and figure out the way those things are done instead of just come in and get frustrated. Of course you can be frustrated. We all have those days, but you have to be willing to figure out how things are done here versus just make it like, that's not right, that's not efficient. Sure, maybe those things are true, and what are you gonna do about it? I think that's a
change
big
your culture.
thing. Yeah, it's a big thing. You have to be part of it, and you have to be willing to have some patience to want to figure. You have to want to figure it out.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, you figure it out for me. You
Yeah.
have to be like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. So your grand opening is coming up in 2 days. Tomorrow, this
Technically,
weekend.
we gotta wait for the snow.
Snow.
Yeah.
But it's coming up.
Snow's coming.
Yeah. What are you most excited about, and what's next for you? What's your future vision?
So super excited about just having people here and having them experience our place, their stay, eat our food, drink our drinks, like come back from the mountain just absolutely on a high, just stoke levels through the roof. Even just having everyone here for the soft opening, which was last Monday, Tuesday, was just so good. The feedback was all awesome. So really looking forward to that. Just, entertaining people, but in the future, what it holds, I don't know yet. Next year, I'm going to renovate another one of our apartments. We're going to look at off-season activities at the lodge that we can do. We have an awesome lake just down the hill, 5-minute drive away. Want to be able to utilise that, utilise this space, and golf. We're right on a golf course.
It's an amazing golf course.
Yeah, so looking at more stuff like that, and possibly other ventures. We'll just have to see how we go and what pops up, and we're not limiting to anything, or we're open to everything and see what comes our way.
Yeah, a lot of our, because I was in the yoga community for so long, a lot of my friends that are also in the international yoga community have reached out to me because this space is perfect for that. And a lot of people just don't know where to start when it comes to Japan. So I think, with 11 rooms, a big, beautiful space for yoga, we're absolutely going to be, allowing people to rent the space as is for their own use. And then in the future, definitely doing yoga retreats and things like that. That's definitely on the cards. I'm excited for people to honestly, check out and just be like, this was, the best week of my life. I had the best time, best food, best drinks. Frizzle's the best. I can't wait to see you two next season. I think once we get our first repeat booking, that's going to be the testament of we nailed the experience. And I want people to want to bring their families back here, whether it be our team, in the future after they've worked with us, they bring people back, or people that are booking with us this season, they're just I can't wait to see you next year. I get chills just thinking about that. I think that's really important. The first piece of merch someone buys, we designed that, that's going to be exciting to see that people are loving what we're putting forward. And I'm honestly just excited to get out on snow. I just learned to ski a couple years ago, but I love being out there and being in the fresh air and just seeing the resort come to life. And I think what we're doing here is also going to bring the street to life. So I'm excited to see this place bustle. Mm-hmm. This is the first season, truly post-COVID, that I think we're gonna have a good one. Not only us, but our friends. So
Yeah, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
you.
this
Arigato.
beautiful project and opening. Where can people find out more about you and the breweries?
Well, we have our website, which is thebreweys.com. It's TheBreweys.com. The Breweys. My Instagram is at Kate Diora, which is also on the Breweys.
My Instagram's at Brewy, but yeah, also the Breweys Instagram page is another good one, or just Google the Breweys, drop us a line, get in contact, and we'll answer any questions, help you guys have the best holiday.
Yeah, we love to interact online, so any messages, DMs, tag us, like we love it.
What's the best way to book a room?
Direct.
Through you? Direct.
Yeah, so
Okay. Direct message.
direct message. I love to like personally interact with our guests and help them build out their trips. So I know a lot of things when it comes to like what to do in Tokyo, either post your trip, and have a list of like all the best suggestions of things to hit when you're there. I can help you with the timetables for the bullet train, and how to book your tickets. And yeah, anything from where to stay in Tokyo to like, yeah, you name it. I can do it, and I actually love it. So I think that's the best way to book, to get the most personal experience, so you know when you're coming to see us, like who's on the other end of that. It's us, like, but I love helping with those pre elements.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for your time. And again, congratulations. Super stoked for you.
See you
Yeah,
again.
me too.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out their lodge, The Breweries, at their website and their social handles to see what they're up to. Links are in the description. And before we end, I have a quick announcement. We're hosting a free live trading session on how to buy your first house in Japan in just 90 days without getting a loan. We will share the exact steps we use to buy a property in Japan. It's happening on January 4th, Japan time, and this is our final call. So be sure to save your seat by registering today, as we're pretty much at capacity already. The link is below. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and watch this video next for more, and see you in the next one.